Hello everyone, and welcome to the fourth case in Sherlock Holmes, Crimes and Punishments, the Kew Gardens drama. Doing 2 in 1 day. Getting up there.
Holmes, for heaven's sake, whatever's going on?
Oh, hello, Watson. You're early. Did you kill all of your patients?
What? Holmes, where have all these wretched bees come from?
I increased the temperature of the room so as to prevent them from hibernating. I needed to take a sample of honey. But it worked, Watson. We will have honey all year round.
Ridiculous and dangerous.
They're domestic bees, Apis mellifera, such industrious workers. Anyway, Watson, I am sorry, but I must leave you. I'm in rather a hurry.
You have a new case?
Yes, but nothing as thrilling as this experiment. A theft of plants at the Royal Botanic Gardens in Kew. I'm helping a minister who's an old friend of mine. You can join me if you like.
Well, I'll admit that I'd far rather accompany you than remain alone here with these workers of yours. Besides, you'll need a helping hand with the flowers you're intending to bring back.
Watson, how ever did you guess?
For the great Sherlock Holmes to bother with the theft of plants. Come on, admit that you're planning to spoil your little bees with some rare pollens.
Since when did I become so transparent? Let us go.
I absolutely love all of the little interactions that Holmes and Watson have in this game. Hey Danny. Hey Toby.
Oh dear, Toby. I wasn't aware that you were Watson's new literary agent.
That's because he's tearing up a newspaper. Yeah, like, their characters, they're just done so well in this game. Dear Mr. Holmes, I have finally found the courage to write you a letter. I can scarcely find the words to express my gratitude for your kindness. On the terrible day, I believed my life to be ruined. At the same time, I realized there would be one person in the world who truly loved me, and whom I loved in return. His name we both know is Captain Jack Crocker. His love has given me true reason to live. Even if we cannot be together in the end, none of this could have happened without you, Mr. Holmes. Yours sincerely, Mary Brackenstall. And we got the fork for that one. How many? It looks like we've only got 4 character portraits this time. Alright. Let's get dressed. Alrighty. Looks like we're about ready to head out, gamers. Let's go. Let's open the case book. Let's open the deductions. Let's get to solving this before we even get there. Holmes walks in, he's already got this shit done, dude.
Well, Holmes, here we are at the Royal Botanic Gardens. There's no doubt that this place is beautiful. But are you really intent on investigating the theft of the plants?
Yes, of course.
Oh, hello there, gentlemen. Has there been a murder? Bet there has.
Don't touch anything else, is that clear? Just go and get a bucket of fertilizer. And without turning it over this time. Good day to you, gentlemen. How may I help you? If you are here for a visit, please do come back on Sunday.
I am afraid that it cannot wait. My name is Sherlock Holmes, and this is my friend and colleague, Dr. Watson. We are investigating the theft of plants that took place here 5 days ago. A remarkable collection, I believe.
So you're the one in charge, eh?
A small favor for a friend. Now, to whom do I have the pleasure of speaking?
I am Martin Hamish. I am the Deputy Director of Kew Gardens. And that fellow yonder is Albert. He works here.
I am delighted to meet you. What can you tell us about the plants?
They were rare and exceptional plants. We presented them at our last exhibition. We haven't removed the stand yet. It is still in the large glass house. We only learned of their disappearance the evening after the exhibition, and nobody saw anything.
No doors were forced?
No. But I would imagine that for a thief it would be fairly easy to gain entry, for there are no guards here.
Okay.
Well, if you don't mind, we will take a look. Now, you say that it is in the large glass house.
Yes, the one just behind me. Just a second, since Albert has nothing else to do. Albert, show these gentlemen where the exhibition was held.
How many people work here?
Only myself, but occasionally 2 students, Albert, whom you have met, and Miss White.
Here it is. This is the place where the stolen plants were exhibited.
Thank you. Is there something the matter?
Yes, there is. All right, the plants were valuable and rare, but it seems to me that the tragedy that took place here only 2 days ago has been entirely forgotten already.
What tragedy are you referring to?
The director of Kew Gardens, Mr. Montague Dunn, he died here just 2 days ago.
We're very sorry.
Oh, shit.
We were not aware. The two of you were good friends?
He was my father.
Oh dear. Our condolences. We should not be troubling you. Please do excuse us for the intrusion.
You say that he died here, in the large glass house.
Holmes?
Yes, just here, near the door to the Colonial Collection. He suffered a heart attack. Just like that. So suddenly. It was terrible. Excuse me, gentlemen, but I cannot remain here. If you need me, I'll be in the reserve. That's the room next to the front of the large greenhouse.
Of course, we understand. The plants were here. All of them were stolen.
Do not touch.
Must have been deadly plants.
Here is a list of the stolen plants.
I see.
According to Albert, this is where his father, Montague Dunn, was found dead. Soil. It should have come from a flower pot. The soil on the side of this flower shelf is the same as that on the ground. Fragments of a flower pot. It fell down here. This pot was broken fairly recently. A flower pot recently fell down from these shelves and was misplaced. This sign is broken. Something heavy was dropped upon it.
Like a body, perhaps?
Blood. Someone fell violently against this
Thought
sign,
so.
and they were injured in the clash. Most likely a head wound. The traces are thinner in some places. These boot marks are fresh. It appears as though someone was dragging their feet. The footprints reveal that someone staggered here. The esconsson was breached near the handle.
The ensconson, oh boy.
The door was smashed at shoulder height. This door handle is new. It was recently changed. The door was forced from the inside of the Colonial Collection room. The handle was changed afterwards.
I think we need to inspect the Colonial Collection.
All the clues around here are quite suspicious. I need my imagination to make sense of it all.
We'll do that in a bit. I want to just, I want to make sure there's no more clues in this room. I don't think there is. No. Breaking in the door. Kneeling over the pot. Falling on the fence. Yeah.
This reconstruction reveals a disturbing fact. Montague Dunn damaged the door of the Colonial Collection Room.
He was in a panic, or the door was locked? Was it an accident, or a murder then, I wonder? I think we need to inspect the Colonial Collection.
I think it was quite obviously murder. We're playing a Sherlock Holmes game after
Very
all.
strange. Half of the Colonial Collection is absent. The smell is strong. It is a detergent. This broken fragment was the result of a heavy blow. A fragment of marble, most likely chipped from a statue or sculpture.
I see.
These windows were perfectly cleaned. Part of this greenhouse was emptied and thoroughly cleaned. These plants come from all the territories of the British Empire. According to this, they have light and moisture control in some parts of the building.
Let's see what's going on here. Yep. I hope his body is still at Scotland Yard.
I asked Inspector Lestrade to take Montague Dunn's body to Scotland
Okay.
Yard.
It's ready for autopsy then.
Alright, Lestrade, let's see what you got for me.
A beautiful feather pen of a good make. This watch is of great value. A membership card for the London Crest Club.
To Mr. F. Wayne, Director of Wayne & Sons Printing Company. My friend, your posters for the great exhibition at Kew Gardens are very beautiful, but it is surely unnecessary to mention all the staff. My name alone will be sufficient. A bit of an egotistical dude, I think. Mr. Dunn,
First of all, let us carry out an external
here
examination.
for your appointment.
There are no suspicious marks upon the chest. Let us finish our external examination so that we can proceed with the autopsy. There is an injury to the skull, most probably caused by the fall in the water lily greenhouse. The vessels and the pupil of the eye appear quite normal. The air from the lungs carries a faint floral aroma. Nothing suspicious here. No redness, stings, or bruises. Now, let us examine the internal organs.
Surgeon simulator, dude.
The heart's blood vessels show no pathological signs. The heart tissue shows no visible pathological signs. The lungs are congested and edematous. The tissue on the inferior lobe of the right lung is damaged, most probably caused by toxins from an unknown plant. The liver is enlarged. It would seem that he was suffering from an alcohol addiction. The liver tissue is brown. There are no visible pathological signs. The stomach tissues show no visible pathological signs.
Stop fucking saying that. It's getting annoying. Fuck you.
There is a small amount of content. It appears that he breakfasted lightly, only a short while before his death. My suspicions have been substantiated. Montague Dunn, the director of Kew Gardens, died from poisoning. Plant poisoning, to be more exact.
You mean
Yes, it is murder.
we should inform Lestrade?
Yes, but do remember, Watson, that I discovered the murder. The challenge is mine.
The challenge, Holmes?
We need to locate that deadly plant. Such a perfect murder appeals to me.
Murder of any kind appeals to you. Is that all we need to do?
No, we also have the people working at Kew Gardens. Martin Hamish and the son of the victim, Albert Dunn.
And also Miss White, of whom we spoke with Mr. Hamish. Should we bring them all here for interrogation?
No, a few innocuous questions at Kew will suffice, as well as a discreet delve into their personal affairs. Yes, Watson, it is time now to open the doors.
Even those in the staff building? I suppose that is necessary.
We should also be concerned with the victim himself. After all, we don't know very much about Montague Dunn.
You're enjoying this already, aren't you?
More than a little.
Alrighty, so we gotta gather intelligence on Montague Dunn, which we'll probably do at Baker Street, right?
Locked.
Let's go to Baker Street real quick to see if we can't find something about him in our archive. Open up my deductions. Yeah, Dunn is poisoned, quite obviously. No doubt in my mind that it was murder. Alrighty. Do encyclopedia. Some botany.
Here it is.
Alrighty. Yeah, they were all deadly plants. So it could have been theft and murder. Right. Making progress, making progress. Let's go to the Kew Gardens now. See what they got for us. You, Mr. Albert? What? What was his name? Oh, this is the son. This is Mr. Hamish. I think he's a religious man.
Mr. Hamish, can you explain to us what happened to the colonial collection? It seems somewhat depleted.
But, most likely maintenance work, tidying up.
You're not sure, then? But you're the deputy director.
Well, I am busy. I cannot be everywhere at once.
Albert told us about the tragic death of Mr. Dunn, the late director of Kew Gardens.
Tragic indeed. His heart attack was quite unexpected.
As deputy director, how was your relationship with Montague Dunn?
To be honest with you, Mr. Holmes, it could have been better. You see, every Tuesday he would carry out his inspection of the gardens, but it was solely to make an impression, great pretense that he cared at all. He would give out absurd orders, ignoring anyone else's opinion. He would then disappear for the rest of the week. He was what some might call a man of action. I'd say rather he was overzealous and chaotic. So after all, it was no wonder, perhaps, that he ended up like that, if you take into consideration his kind of lifestyle.
You mentioned that Mr. Dunn led a particular lifestyle.
Well, it's no secret that he enjoyed, celebrating, shall we say? He was a member of the London Smart Set. He was famous for it. That and...
And...
he had an eye for the ladies, to put it mildly, Mr. Holmes.
Base.
Tell me, Mr. Hamish, do you grow the more deadly variety of plant here?
You mean insectivorous? Yes, but nothing larger than that.
Thank you, Mr. Hamish. We shall continue our investigation.
Watson, if you don't get out of the fucking way.
Colonial Collection. Water Lily Greenhouse. Palm House. Director's Office, Cloakroom and Laboratory. Reserve.
As hell sneeze.
Nursery.
Hell sneeze 'em.
Dry Tropics. Seed House. Ventilation System.
Oh, there's more to see. I don't really see anything else here. Oh.
A map of Kew Gardens.
Alright.
Locked.
So we can't go in there.
Locked.
So we can't go in there.
Can I help you, gentlemen?
Yes, you can, actually. We need your help. Alright, this guy I feel like is incapable of murder. At least of his father, for sure.
Who is Miss Margaret White?
Ah, she is the young lady who studies with me. She visits here sometimes to help out with the greenhouses. In fact, she should be here today. She wanted to work at the seed house. That's the small greenhouse across from the large glass house.
Do you work here?
Yes, but part-time only, for I'm also studying botany at the University of London.
You're following in your father's footsteps, then. That is commendable.
Well, even if botany is not my strongest suit, there are people who say that I could be a good manager.
We noticed that a part of the colonial collection has been cleared.
Ah, at the moment I'm just dealing with the storage room. I don't know much about the other rooms.
I imagine that your relationship with your father may have been a strained one.
Yes. I cannot say that he was a kind man, for he never listened to me at all. He forced me to work here. But now, after his death, I've been pondering it over. Perhaps he wasn't so wrong about me after all. I have to follow his path, and I have to manage Kew Gardens, and I can do it. I can be as good as any other who works here.
Would you please tell us about Martin Hamish, the Deputy Director?
Well, I have to tell you that Mr. Hamish is not and has never been the Deputy Director of Kew Gardens. My father would not have tolerated it.
Indeed? That is most interesting. He told us that he was.
Yes, because he believes that the management should be passed down to him now that my father is dead. But in actual fact, Mr. Hamish only has the honour of being the garden's longest-serving employee. In fact, if we are to think logically at all, it should be me who takes over the management of Kew Gardens.
Do you not have a good relationship with Mr. Hamish?
I suppose so. But we have very little in common. Mr. Hamish loves his plants and Kew Gardens, and I cannot say that I share his passion.
I see. And how was his relationship with your father?
Oh, he hated my father. It was obvious. He would be furious whenever my father boasted of Kew Gardens in the newspapers or at conferences. He was convinced that my father was stealing all of the credit for himself. But my father treated Mr. Hamish in the same way as he treated anyone. Dismissively. With indifference.
I think they're pointing towards Hamish a little too much.
Do you hold the keys to all of these locked doors?
Yes, you can have them. But I cannot give you the keys to the cloakroom. The employees' effects are private. I am sure you understand.
Thank you, young man. We shall see you again soon. Palm House.
See if there's anything to see inside the Palm House. Used to be a pretty linear area, so I wouldn't imagine so.
According to this, they have light and moisture control in some parts of the building.
Yeah, we saw that on the map, right?
Water lily green. According to this,
Yeah.
Watch.
water.
Just want to make sure I examine everything.
Accord. Dry. Dry. There is a smell of burning.
Yeah, I saw that. Who the fuck's having a bonfire out here?
The plants were set alight fairly recently. Some have not completely burned. A door handle? Why would anyone throw such a thing in the fire? The door handle to the Colonial Collection and that of the fireplace are made of the same material. A protective mask. Someone set it alight, but it did not burn. The symbol is not from Kew Gardens.
I see.
The remains of a picture frame. A broom handle was half burned.
Quite an odd little fire. There's her.
Look, Holmes. This charming lady must be Miss White. She's entering the seed house.
Yeah.
See,
The ventilation system's here.
a water tank. A ventilation system. It should regulate the temperature of the staff buildings.
Object of interest there.
Open. Seed house.
No miss. Hold on, let me poke around the room real quick.
From here, we are unable to see the interior of the Colonial Collection Room. These leather gloves are new and of good quality. They do not appear to have been used. A book about ships. Nothing at all to do with plants. Materials for college study. They belong to Albert. This place serves as Albert's office.
Alright. Watson, how the fuck did you get over there? Let me just get the sign real quick.
Seed House.
Alrighty.
Good day to you, miss. You have some very beautiful plants
Oh,
here.
I'm sure that's what's
Why, thank you,
beautiful,
sir.
Watson.
And good day to you, too. But
Oh, I do beg your pardon. My name is Dr. John Watson. This is my good friend, Mr. Sherlock Holmes.
I am honored to make your acquaintance, gentlemen. My name is Margaret White. Excuse me, but are you Sherlock Holmes, the great detective?
Yes, I am he.
What a pleasure to see you here at Kew Gardens. Are you working on a case?
So, poor family, but expensive perfume. And she's unmarried.
Yes, a theft of plants that took place here a few days ago after their most recent exhibition.
Oh, yes, of course. I quite forgot about that.
Oh, it's quite understandable that you might forget about the theft of the plants, miss, after the tragedy that took place here.
Yes. The director was a truly good man. It is such a terrible misfortune.
Would you happen to know why part of the Colonial Collection was cleared?
No, I have never been there.
Do you work here?
Part-time only. I am a biology student at the London University. I attend the same classes as the son of Mr. Montague Dunn. That is how I found my chance to work here for part of my thesis, you see. It is a great honor.
How well did you know Mr. Montague Dunn?
He was a master, a great leader. I saw him almost as a spiritual father.
He had an exceptional nature?
Oh yes, indeed. He was always so active and so optimistic, and very nice to me. Although he could behave harshly towards his son.
Why so?
He loved his son dearly and wanted the very best for him. It made him extremely demanding. Albert, who is naturally shy, suffered because of it.
Most of the doors in Kew Gardens are locked. Do you have a key to this room?
Oh, yes. Albert gave me a set of duplicate keys. He agreed I might carry out my studies without disturbing him. It is only temporary.
Thank you, miss. None of the 3 people who work at Kew Gardens know why half of the Colonial Collection was cleared. So, someone is lying. It is obvious.
I see.
Nursery.
Got a bunch of new fucking evidence. Search archives, find a use. Find a use. Nothing in the nursery? Oh.
The seeds of plants.
Alright, so seeds are stored here. Alright, I think it's just seeds stored here. And here's a bust.
It is a bust of Montague Dunn.
Hey, look at that.
I am curious if the marble that we found will fit this place.
It will.
Here it is. The marble fragment that we found in the Colonial Collection Room is what they have in common. An award presented to Martin Hamish for Best Grower of the Year. A master's degree diploma. It belongs to Martin Hamish.
Looks like this was his office then.
We can see the interior of the Colonial Collection Room from this window.
That's looking bad for Martin.
A thesis written by Martin Hamish. A glasses case. It is empty. This area serves as Martin Hamish's office. These young plants must be delicate if they are kept in the nursery.
Alright then.
Locked.
No, it's not. You just fucking opened it, Holmes. My God. Alright, there's only one more building for us to go into. Let's see if Martin has any more light to shed real quick before we go inside. I think this is the cloakroom, so we won't be able to get in here. Oh, or we will. This is the cloakroom. Nope.
What is your opinion of Albert as a student of botany?
He's useless. I often tell him so, and I can only give him cleaning tasks. Botany is not his life's work, and his father well knew it. He was furious about it.
He was.
Oh yes, he forced his son to work here, and he never missed an opportunity to criticize him publicly.
Are you able to elaborate on that?
Well, for example, with our last exhibition here, Mr. Dunn had Albert make a presentation speech. But then, while the lad was speaking, Mr. Dunn interrupted him, asking him difficult questions, making him look like a failure. It was with the intention of making a fool of him, Mr. Holmes.
That must have been terribly humiliating.
Yes, he was crushed, and he had to leave. Everybody was making fun of poor Albert. That is, except for Miss Margaret White, who was such a nice lady and who always takes pity on Albert.
You mentioned a Miss White. Would you tell us more about her?
She is a student who works here part-time. She is quite charming indeed. She possesses a great talent for botany. You should take a look at some of her experiments that she carried out in the laboratory. Ah, if only she were not so naive.
Why naive?
The way she used to flutter around Mr. Montague Dunn. And he couldn't help but be flattered by all her attention. How could an intelligent woman such as Miss White not see through his game? I can only scratch my head and wonder.
There is a
Would love
bust of
triangle,
Montague
perhaps,
Dunn
or
in the
love
nursery.
Square?
A bust? Oh, that old thing. Further proof of that outrageous ego of his.
But why in that room in particular?
Oh, I don't know. It has always been there.
There we go.
It is strange, because I recovered a fragment of the bust inside the Colonial Collection Room.
Really? Oh, well, so I am mistaken. It ought to have been removed during the cleanup. This room is so small.
Do you know who moved it?
I have no idea. Surely Mr. Dunn requested it. Do you have any more questions like this? Because fragments of rock are not my responsibility.
Evidently. Thank you, Mr. Hamish. We shall continue our investigation. Newspapers discussing Kew Gardens.
This is Dunn's workplace, I imagine. My dearest Margaret, following our last conversation, I believe it might be better if you vacate your position here at Kew Gardens. You pointed out quite bluntly you are no longer in need of my support. You are quite able to stand up for yourself in this world, as you say. Well, I give you back your freedom and wish you nothing but good luck. He's planning to kick her out.
A photograph of Montague Dunn and Reynold Hamish.
Okay, maybe... Oh. Bam, 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 bam. Bam, bam, bam. Bam, bam, bam. Bam, 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 bam. Alrighty. Almost has a musical quality to it. Mr. Dunn, we ask you for the last time for the return of our dear sisters. You do not have any right to hold them imprisoned. They do not belong to you. Your so-called permissions are wholly false. You are hiding behind lies. The lie, we need not elaborate, was reported in the press as the case of June 14th, 1889. What you have done is quite abhorrent. Be very sure that we shall never abandon our family members. We trusted you and regret having done so. The Divine Syndicate. My dear friend, please allow me to express my disappointment upon reading your last letter. I am paying you to defend me, not to accuse me. Kew Gardens is a royal institution. We are granted the great opportunity to travel the world and save the most extraordinarily precious and rare species of plants. Our duty is to protect such species and from those who might wish to use them for dubious purpose. The Divine Syndicate of whom you speak have no right to hold such precious plants. Remember the case of June 14th, 1889. So I must respectfully ask you once again to notarize the permissions of these plants on behalf of Kew Gardens. The documents were sent to you on Monday. P.S. See you in Boodles on Tuesday, as always. Montague Dunn. Another letter.
I suggest that we don't tell Miss Margaret White about this document.
What's that? Debt of Miss Margaret White to Miss Montague Dunn. Rental of a suite of rooms at Oxford Street. An educational scholarship at the London University. Credits open at Hamilton, Radigan House, Taylor's, and Bird & Sons Lecture. Ooh. He was like her sugar daddy, bro. Okay. Now this is the lab.
This is a table for experiments. It resembles my own.
Only this one is kept in good order, Holmes.
There was a bottle here. It left behind a trace of the substance that pervaded the laboratory.
Gold dust? Good heavens. What's it doing here?
The gold is almost immune to chemical attacks, so it may be a valuable auxiliary for various experiments.
But why would anyone perform such experiments in a botanical garden?
Several drops of the substance were spilled. Someone carried this bottle around. Several drops of the bottle is no longer here, but it is possible to detect a faint scent. We need a good nose.
Tobster. Tobuscus. No.
A phonograph used for voice recording. Remarkable.
Yes, this is quite a modern laboratory.
Hamich's perception of plants. The notion of communication in the plant world has long been considered marginal, yet I remain convinced that some plants do indeed transmit chemical signals in the event of attack.
A study report by Martin Hamish.
Do I get a... Come on now? Oh.
And it seems clear from these multiple experiments that plants do respond to their environment and have a form of consciousness. Margaret White, February 1895.
Okay, so they were conducting communication experiments with
Study report.
the plants.
Chemicals. A sufficient quantity for some serious experiments. A botany book. This student's book belongs to Albert. Locked.
Yeah, it's the
Holmes,
cloakroom.
Albert Dunn didn't give it.
It does not matter.
Oh.
We will open it.
I see, I see. Oh my god. Oh my god, this is high tech. Oh lordy. Oh lordy, they done whipped out the high tech. No, 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 no. Lordy, lordy. There we go.
Open.
It was a very forceful
Martin
open.
Hamish's locker. A review on rare and exotic plants. Martin Hamish has written several pieces.
Mr. General Secretary, recent events unfolding at Kew Gardens obliged me to renew my application for the management position. As I've stated already in my previous letters, I believe that no one is better suited for the post. While Mr. Montague Dunn was alive, I understood your reservation to my suggestion. Your reasons were political, and so I was happy to comply. But now the Kew Gardens lie in disorder. How can I stand by and allow it? How can I leave them in the hands of an inexperienced people with no motivation? I must urge you to cast your decision as a matter of urgency, so that I may devote myself entirely to the noble task ahead, and free my mind from this uncertainty.
Martin Hamish studied chemistry. Interesting. Father and I, Kew Gardens.
No.
Albert's locker. A picture of Miss White and Albert in front of the University of London.
And they seem to get along.
Specialist articles on shipyards and ship construction. Albert Dunn has a great passion for shipbuilding and the sea. A rejection letter from the British Royal Naval College.
Royal Naval School of NCO's Recruitment Centre, London. Sir, it is my regret to inform you that, despite your excellent results within our entry examinations, we are unable to invite you to the Royal Navy School. Your father, Mr. Montague Dunn, has expressed his intention to entrust you to the directorship of the Royal Botanic Gardens in Kew, and it is clear that he would not release you for an entire year of naval training. Please accept all of our best wishes for your future at Kew Gardens. Yours very faithfully, J.M. Le Marchand, Director of the Royal Navy Trading Centre.
Miss White's locker.
Did Montague Dunn not have his own damn thing?
Apparently, Miss White is a capable student. A draft of the letter that Miss White sent to her parents.
Dear Mother and Father, I am writing this letter with reluctance to ask for your help. My studies and housing costs have proved to be more expensive than I could have anticipated. I fear, therefore, that I may not be able to manage it in the long term. I know that we have had our disagreements in the past, but would you be so heartless to allow your daughter to fail her studies due to lack of money?
These jewels must be worth a small fortune. A vanity purse. It is of high quality.
Margaret, we were surprised to receive your letter. How could you think of a task of us money after all these years have passed since you left and without any thought of us? You have never shared us any detail of your success at the university, but you choose to do so now. We suppose you must be ashamed of us, for we are not from the same high class as your new friends. Yes, we are modest people, but you should learn to put your family first, as we at home have always done. And none of us ever compromise their reputation, as it appears you have already done with your employer, Mr. Dunn. No, Margaret, it is you who makes us feel... It is you who makes us feel ashamed, your parents. Dear Margaret, I know your financial troubles are overwhelming you at the present time. Please let me reassure you that I could not permit you to remain in such a dilemma. I was born of a wealthy family. I would consider it an honor if you might accept my help. Your devoted servant, Albert. Mans was simpin'. Holy fuck.
Such masks are generally worn when dealing with toxic chemicals. Gloves, waterproof aprons, everything one might need for self-protection.
Do they grow dangerous plants here?
No, but I think they had dangerous plants.
It appears as though the protective equipment is missing from here.
Interesting. I kind of want to do the deductions on the way to Baker Street. Alright, we're going to go through and question everyone one more time. Because I know they got answers for us.
Mr. Hamish, was someone from your family connected with Kew Gardens?
Family? No. I'm the only one with a passion for botany.
Bam, photo.
I do not think so. This photograph of you and your father at Kew Gardens suggests the opposite.
But you have no right to.
Do tell us more about your father.
He was, indeed, the greatest botanist of his time in the British Empire. He worked together with Montague Dunn until the end of his life. He brought me in at the age of 12.
Did he get on well with Mr. Dunn?
No, I couldn't say that. They expanded Kew Gardens together, that was all. And it was all my father's work, for Dunn always lived the high life.
So Mr. Dunn was not helping your father?
Oh, yes, he provided the financial support. And as far as he was concerned, that fulfilled his role. But the worst of it was, he declared himself as the master of Kew Gardens. Fame meant nothing to my father, so it was easy for Mr. Dunn to take all the credit.
Thank you, Mr. Hamish. We shall continue our investigation. I perceive that you are passionate about the Royal Navy.
Passionate? No, not really. I like ships, that is all.
Are you quite sure? You do not seem to be so interested in plants.
It's difficult, that's all. My future is here. It has never been about anything else.
And yet I know that the Royal Naval College rejected your application.
Ah, you truly are as clever as they say. Yes, that's correct. And in fact, my father was strongly against the idea. He did his best to ruin my plans, although I almost did succeed. But my dreams were shattered, Mr. Holmes.
Thank you, young man. We shall see you again soon.
Alright. And finally, let's speak with her one last time. Hopefully getting all this shit out of the way now will reduce the amount of time we have to spend here later. I do think this is the longest case in the game, so we're in for a bit of a ride, folks.
Seed.
Poor Mr. Montague.
Alright, she doesn't have anything new to say to me. That makes my job a whole lot easier. Let's start making some deductions here. So we've got a lot to work with. So Albert had a motive. Roy was in a difficult situation. There's disagreement between those two. Hamish also had a motive. Alright. Just came to a bunch of deductions there.
This.
Alright, so I've got to... We also have...
That is not the one I need. That is...
Oh, okay. So, 89. There we go. Members of the Syndicate worship Tree One, the God King. They strive to obtain spiritual peace and release themselves from the material world, so generous donations are appreciated.
The Divine Syndicate is not a supplier to Kew Gardens. Besides, there is no address here.
And let's search the newspapers in 89. Alrighty. The Divine Syndicate Club follows the God King Tree One, situated on 48 Grosvenor Street, Carlton Road. Protectors of plants, and more particularly trees, are currently the subject of administrative investigation. Leaders of this organization are suspected of financial malfeasance. It may be this investigation that will lead to charges of judiciary. Meanwhile, many voices have risen high against this inspection, denouncing the state. In fact, the private organization, which has given its goal to the defense and protection of nature, and which incorporates many persons of influence, including political representatives of the opposition party. Okay.
Here it is. And here is the Divine Syndicate's address. Perfect. It is time to find out what they have against Montague Dunn.
Interesting. We need Toby here.
Come on, Toby. We have some work for you to do. Let us go to Kew Gardens.
Alright. Yeah, let's go to Kew Gardens first.
Let us take Toby to the laboratory. He will pick up the scent of this mysterious substance. Search, Toby. Search.
He's going. Oh, okay, thank fuck. I can just do this.
Congratulations, Toby. Now let us see what you have found. This is the bottle that was used in the laboratory. It was buried here. There is still some liquid remaining in the bottle, with gold flakes. A tiny caterpillar. Not surprising to see one in a garden, but at the bottom of a bottle.
I think I've got to analyze that. Yep. I'm gonna just go and do that right now. You got any new clues? No.
Let us determine just what we have found here. Let us pour liquid from the bottle into a test tube to perform an analysis. This is the bottle that we found hidden.
All right.
A colorless, water-based liquid. Quite a strong floral aroma.
Shit.
Holmes? What are you doing?
It has a bitter taste.
What if it's poisonous?
Did you ever see poison stored in enormous jars like that? Anyway, there is a doctor nearby.
So what do you think it is?
It is some kind of organic compound. Let us vaporize the liquid and see what happens.
Oh, it
Small
crystallized.
colorless
yeah.
crystals. Colorless,
Dude, I love doing
tiny
science
crystals
shit.
that are soluble in water, with a floral smell and a bitter taste. Watson, could you pass me that small bottle, please?
Of course. Here you are. Holmes, do you know what it is?
Wagner's reagent. There was a label on the bottle that you passed to me.
No, Holmes, I meant the bottle that we found.
Let me add the reagent and see if there is any sediment, and then I shall tell you. I need to take a
Okay,
pipette.
of course I need to use pipette. God damn, sounds like my fucking chemistry teacher, Holmes. Just pour the shit in there.
Red sediment, just as I suspected.
Wine.
This liquid is of organic origin. It contains some alkaloid. Most likely it is unstable, and that is why there is a quantity of gold dust to prevent contamination. This mixture is probably a fertilizer. Someone was carrying out unusual experiments in the garden's laboratory.
Alright. We just got to go to the Divine Syndicate now. No new clues. Hey, look.
This place
Pressed
is
A before A
beautiful,
even showed up.
Holmes. Its atmosphere is remarkably soothing.
Let us find someone who could help us.
Let's go back here first. We might find some Easter eggs. Looking for the Megalodon back here. Oh.
Fragments of a flower pot. It fell down here. The Kew Gardens
Thievery. Perhaps thievery both ways, because we actually did find yeah. We got it going. It's very important. I need my last character profile for this case.
Good day to you, sir. My name is Sherlock...
I am exalting the sap. A while can you wait? From the trace of elements and moreover from the quality of the ambient geotropism it depends. Therefore, please, mind my gravitropism. Its balance. Do not
Well, I hope he
disturb.
speaks like Yoda.
Disturbed is most definitely the word.
There. Completed is the symbiosis. Welcomed you are. To introduce myself I shall. I am the Green Grand Mystic.
The Green Grand Mystic himself.
This is me. Who am I speaking to?
We are two gentlemen who are extremely interested in the vegetation philosophy that is advocated by this establishment.
Listening to you, I am.
This might be Talons of Wing Chang level of racist. We gotta be careful here. He's a chemist as well.
We should like to take a look around, to immerse ourselves in the wisdom that emanates from here.
It is a school of anastomosis, the divine scholastic syndicate for vegetation veneration and meditation. You may say, the divine syndicate, glory to the eukaryotic. Only true devotees, those whose hearts are ready to spermatophize,
I spermatophize every day.
are permitted to physically enter our vegetable kingdom and its wisdom. And to be permitted, you must earn it. Yes.
Green Grand Mystic, we are ready to become devotees and gain access to your temple.
What is the name of our Lord, our God King?
Tree 1.
Our God King's name is Treewan, Green Grand Mystic.
Shitty introduction
La.
test.
Good, I like you. Here is the
It's like a fucking Skyrim guild.
The wisdom place. Holy donation can you make whenever you so wish.
Thank you so much.
I pray you to taste our fertilizer substance. From the burdens of life it helps to free.
But of course.
Raw sap, it is called. It is near the entrance.
Do you have friends at Kew Gardens?
None. Not worthy there.
Oh. Am I fucked up?
Do you have...
None. Not worthy there.
Which one is it? I wonder.
None. Not worthy there.
There we go.
Nevertheless, we have seen Kew Gardens flower pots in your yard. How could they happen to be there?
What? Our sacred place you permitted yourself to search. Sacrilege.
No, really now. There was a theft of plants at Kew Gardens a matter of days
He drops
ago.
the axe the
And
second
we
he
believe
gets
the
the key.
pots we found here may be connected with it. Please tell us, were you involved?
No. Those plants were ours. They had stolen them from us.
How so?
Their director, Dump, I believe.
Done.
Yes, that's what I said. He borrowed from us 3 of our sisters for the exhibition at his green fly-infested gardens. But he never gave them back to us. Excuses and imbecility. So we went in and saved them.
I see. So, if you stole those rare plants from them, then it means... Ah, I get it. Bravo, Holmes. I think the case is solved.
No.
We did not steal. We saved. Well, as a matter of fact, we were unable to find
I beg your pardon. And yet you took all of the exotic plants from the stand.
They had disappeared. It was the least we could do. They stole our sisters, and so we stole theirs.
Well, we will leave you to your meditation.
Drugs.
That should be the raw sap that the Green Grand Mystic spoke
It's
of.
opium.
This is rather delicious, and of an
Or
excellent
it's crack
quality.
cocaine.
My word, Holmes. Their sap
It
is
is
like a
cocaine.
form of cocaine.
It's fucking cocaine.
Praise the grand tree, praise it!
This is the best fucking case yet, dude.
This must be Triwan, the Divine Syndicate's god. This door is locked, but I can try to open it.
Alright. Lockpick minigame, part 7. Yo, wouldn't it be wacky, chat, if this was actually the 7th lockpick we've done, and I got that right? That'd be pretty wacky, chat. Oh, I can't move this one. Okay then. You know what? I think I'm just gonna skip this lockpick minigame. I think I'm just gonna go inside. That's what I like. Like, the other games had tedious puzzles and they were really annoying. This game has tedious puzzles,
These instruments are used
but you
for
can
smoking
skip them if you just don't
opium.
want to fucking do them and you want to continue with the story, which I kind of like.
A vast amount of opium.
This kind of reminds me of the opium den we went to in, was it Ripper? No, it was Testament. It was the last game we played.
This substance is an alkaloid, the same as in the bottle we found in the bushes at Kew Gardens. This cabinet is full of chemicals. They are the same as the ones we found in the laboratory at Kew Gardens. That would be enough to perform the most difficult of chemical experiments.
I see. They're over here doing fucking leveling up Alchemy 100 in Skyrim, dude. That's what they're fucking doing here, man. Let's go over here and see what we can see.
Caterpillars. They are raised as food for certain plants. Let's take them.
Based homes.
A tropical plant. Nothing of interest. A tropical...
Alright.
A tropic... A tropic... A trop... A tro... These 3 plants are identical to the ones shown at the exhibition. I shall take them.
Cool.
Follow
We don't
my
have any more to
path,
say to
and
him.
better you will feel.
He was our last character portrait. So, let's do some of these.
Perfect, Watson. We can begin our experiment.
Let's go to Baker Street for that.
I imagine that one of these plants would be capable of releasing a toxic vapor. I need to find out exactly how it could be done. I shall begin now. Watson, if you are at all optimistic to have dinner this evening, then I'd recommend that you put on the gas mask.
Oh,
This
okay. It just becomes inactive, I guess.
This plant becomes inactive after being drenched with alkaloid. It appears to open after being soaked with alkaloid.
Let's put the... Oh!
How interesting. What a strong and effective defensive mechanism. I find the behavior of predators utterly fascinating. It closed again. I believe I saw a small cloud of gas. I wonder what secrets this plant is hiding. Perhaps if we agitate it to a greater extent whilst it is opened, it will reveal a little more. I am interested in what might occur if the prickly plant should shoot at it. It appears to open.
Cool, cool.
Toxic gas with spores. Extraordinary. The plants would be capable of killing only if they were directly next to the victim and stimulated at precisely the right moment.
Let us take our caterpillars to the Colonial Collection Room. We may see things more clearly there.
It is too early, Watson. Our suspects will be there. Let us investigate Kew Gardens one more time and ask some questions.
Alrighty. Yeah, she has the botanical knowledge to do this. He's got a lack of experience. He couldn't possibly have fucking done this. I do not think the Divine Syndicate is involved in any way, though. Oh, that's a little too early of a conclusion for me.
Are you aware of the Divine Syndicate?
The Divine what? Is this a joke?
No, I am quite serious.
What a ridiculous name. Anyway, I have never heard of this syndicate.
Can you tell me if you saw Mr. Montague Dunn on the day of his death?
Yes, of course. I met him, and we went to see Albert, his son, at around 9:30. He appeared quite calm.
What were you doing on the morning of the accident?
After paying multiple visits to Albert, I had a little talk with Miss White. Then I returned to my desk to complete some paperwork. Suddenly, I observed that Mr. Dunn was not feeling well, so I ran immediately to fetch Albert. I clearly remember that it was around 10:30, for I was late that morning.
Thank you, Mr. Hamish. We shall continue our investigation. Your father's death does seem highly suspicious. What were your movements here on that day?
Suspicious. Well, I was working in the seed house, taking care of Lysa something, or Lear Pontus, or... No, wait. Ah, these Latin names. And I spent so many hours trying to memorize them.
Did you see your father that day?
Yes. He came here with Mr. Hamish for his weekly visit. There was nothing unusual about that.
And then?
Nothing. They stepped out to the backyard. It was perhaps 20 minutes before 10 o'clock. Then about 10 minutes later, I saw my father heading for the dry tropics room while Mr. Hamish returned here.
And Mr. Hamish and Miss White, what were they both doing that morning?
Mr. Hamish visited me a couple of times. I also saw him returning from talking with Miss White, and that was at 10 minutes past 10. But then he ran back here to me to tell me that my father was feeling unwell. We hurried across to the water lily room, and I found my father lying dead on the floor. Oh, my God.
Tell me, have you ever heard of the Divine Syndicate?
No, I cannot say that I have.
Thank you, young man. We shall see you again soon.
All right. I think we're gonna have to construct a timetable, if I remember correctly, like we did in the Ripper case. Fucking bumbling my way around the gardens. Miss White.
Can you tell me what Mr. Dunn was doing upon the day of his death?
I can, but there is nothing very special to say. I was in the laboratory when I saw Mr. Dunn heading towards me. Tuesday is the day of his weekly visit. It was supposed to be at 9, but he was 10 minutes late, as usual.
And then?
Well, he came in to say good morning. Then I saw him spend 2 or 3 minutes by the plants outside the laboratory. After that, he ran out in the direction of the nursery, where Mr. Hamish was working. He was always in a rush during the inspection, you see. I would pity anyone who stood in his way.
And that was the last time you saw him?
Yes. I stayed in the laboratory until 20 minutes to 11, when I heard the cries of Albert and Mr. Hamish from the large glass house.
I joined them as soon as I could, for I knew that something must be very wrong.
What exactly were you doing in the laboratory?
I was recording an experiment for my thesis. I only stopped my work once when Mr. Hamish visited me briefly around 10 o'clock.
You say you were recording an experiment when the tragedy occurred. Might I listen to the roll?
Certainly. Please do. You will find it in the laboratory. It is number 320.
I don't think I saw it in there.
The Divine Syndicate. Does that name mean anything to you, by any chance?
Not at all. But it is a very pretty name.
Thank you, miss.
Oh.
Everyone has gone, Holmes. The way is clear.
Handling this. Oh, wait. fuck?
This is one of the outlets of the ventilation system.
He inhaled the spores and then escaped the room. Let's fucking fast forward. Jesus.
When Montague Dunn was standing close by the plants, the caterpillars were released and caused the deadly spores to activate. Panicking, and likely already half asphyxiated, Montague Dunn started back and knocked over the bust. He rushed to the door, but it was locked. He had to force it open with his shoulder. We already know the outcome. Montague Dunn collapsed and died not far from the pool. Well, it is time to perform our experiment on the ventilation system. The caterpillars could only fall from the ventilation duct. Our caterpillars are in place. I'll activate the ventilation system so that they fall down. Watson, stay here and observe.
All right, Holmes.
What is it? Oh. What is it wanting me to see? It wants me to see something. I don't know what. Maybe I gotta go out this way to like see the ventilation or something. Yeah, I think that's it.
This is one of the outlets of the ventilation system. We can see the interior of the Colonial Collection Room from this window.
There's obviously a lever there.
From here, we are unable to... This is one of...
Yeah, and then it goes over here.
The power is on. The engine cannot. The engine has started. The power is on. The ventilation system is working.
I see. So now I've got to go back and see Watson, right? Is that what I gotta do? I wish there was fast travel. Wish you could fast travel to Watson. Watson, you got caterpillars on you?
Now we need to see if we can activate the fans.
Oh, okay.
Excellent. This ventilation fan is working. Let us see if I can activate the other one. We can see the
Oh, no. I guess I can't keep that one open.
Perfect. Now I just need to find Watson to check the result.
Alrighty.
It works perfectly, Holmes. Bravo. Now, if you could just help me to get rid of these caterpillars.
Perfect. Now we know how the murder of Montague Dunn was carried out, by activating both Albert's and Mr. Hamish's fans.
But only from Mr. Hamish's workplace would it be possible to see when Montague Dunn entered the Colonial Collection Room.
I suppose it would have to be Hamish then. Arrest him. Alright.
Let's go to Scotland Yard.
Or is it that easy, chat? I don't know, maybe do I know something that you do not know, chat? Perhaps that is the case. Mr. Lestrade? You in here? He's in here. Mr. Lestrade. Strudel. I need your help.
Inspector, I believe that Martin Hamish is guilty of the murder of Montague Dunn.
Aha! I knew it. I'll send the lads around to arrest him.
Very good. I shall wait to hear from you. Inspector, I came here as quickly as I could.
Martin Hamish is in the large glass house. There's no need to hurry.
Why does he say that? Why does he say there's no need to hurry? Why is he saying that? What's up with him saying that? Uh-oh, he's
Holmes,
dead.
my God.
Yes, we found him like that.
Our messing around with the ventilation system didn't go unnoticed. Mr. Hamish realized that we knew.
Inspector, could you arrange the body, please? I should like to examine it.
I can examine it here? Oh yeah, I guess I can.
The mark around the neck is very visible. He died instantly.
Life has become a living hell. I find it unbearable. Dunn deserved to die, but I cannot forgive myself for having my blood upon his hands. We Hamishes seem to have always fallen victim to our circumstance, and I find myself to be no exception. I must atone, and I shall do so, here and now.
Holmes, his left shoe is unique. This anomaly is often a characteristic of...
A club foot. Bravo, Watson. That is the key element of this case.
Uh-oh. Looks like he couldn't have done it. Well, he couldn't have done it by
Something
himself.
about this rings very oddly.
Why do you say that, Mr. Holmes?
Why? Because of Mr. Hamish's club foot. Oh, I deserve to be kicked from here to Charing Cross. I should have noticed it.
But, Mr. Holmes, I can't see why.
No, I don't suppose you do. You must recall that Mr. Dunn was locked inside the Colonial Collection Room by the murderer. If it was Mr. Hamish, he would have had to run up to his workplace to trigger the fan situated above it, taking into consideration the condition of his foot.
Well, it is still possible.
Perhaps, but it is rather strange that such a person as Mr. Hamish decided to base his plan on the speed of his gait.
You mean to say that somebody helped him?
So the suicide is questionable?
Correct. Mr. Hamish accuses only himself in his letter, and so the investigation stops.
Possibly an accomplice, then? That idea had not occurred to me,
No, of
Mr.
course it
Holmes.
hadn't.
I have another idea, Inspector. Thanks to the testimony that we have collected, we are able to rebuild the events as they took place that day.
With a timeline, such as we did in the Jack the Ripper case.
Precisely.
The map at the entrance of Kew Gardens should help us with our timeline.
Let us analyze the facts and statements so that we may recreate the events of that morning.
Alright, no. Okay. When did they... Does it say... Oh, around 9:30. Okay, I've got to put it there. Was it around 20 minutes to 10 when Hamish and Montague Dunn went out to the backyard? 20 minutes to 10. Oh, okay. After 10 minutes, Dunn recommended his inspection and entered the dried topics room. Hamish returned to the seat house, I mean. Martin Hamish had a conversation with Miss White at 10 o'clock. Miss White was in the laboratory until 10:40. When she saw Hamish and Albert in the water lily. Alright, so she joins them there. Hamish ran to Albert as soon as which was around 10:30. Albert was in the seat house the entire morning. Oh, okay.
Let us summarize. Montague Dunn was poisoned inside the Colonial Collection Room. He forced open the door, which means that someone locked him inside there at 10:20. Martin Hamish was last seen at 10:10. This means that he has approximately 10 minutes to lock the door of the Colonial Collection Room. Given that he was club-footed, it is doubtful. Albert also has 10 minutes to lock the door of the Colonial Collection Room, which is quite enough time. Miss White was last seen at 10 o'clock, which means that she had approximately 20 minutes to lock the door. More than enough time. Perfect, Watson. Now, let us ascertain who assisted Martin Hamish in killing Montague Dunn.
It's good to establish the facts. Don't think Albert's involved. White had time. Sure, and she also had knowledge. Oh, well, I guess she didn't, because, okay. That disproves the entire case, if she did. Alright, White's an accomplice. Let's go for it. And we're gonna condemn her, because this was cold-blooded murder. So, A, condemn.
But Holmes, how can you be certain that we'll find Miss White here?
It is obvious, Watson. Just use your brain.
I am using it. I do use it.
Now that the rope has tightened around Martin Hamish, Miss White must act to erase all traces of her implication. After the suicide of her accomplice, there is one final trace remaining: the deadly plants of the Divine Syndicate. She will be there.
Very good. Shall we go?
Just one moment. Now listen to me, Watson. I shall see her alone. You will conceal yourself behind her, quietly.
Whatever are you planning?
Nothing spectacular. The impulses of women have always been a mystery to me. But she is a bold one, and so we must be cautious.
All right. You can count on me, Holmes.
Mr. Holmes, good day to you.
You do not seem surprised, Miss White.
Well, I was expecting you.
Not for too long, I believe. So please tell me, as it is still unclear, who planned the murder? Was it you?
You were wrong, Mr. Holmes.
It was Martin Hamish, then. You managed to convince him to take on a more prominent role.
You could not be further from the truth.
You think that you can fool me?
You don't care what I think.
It is difficult to care about someone who is capable of pushing a man to his suicide. It is over, Miss White. The police will be here any minute.
Over, perhaps. One moment you were here, and the next, you were on the other side.
The other side? No! Stop!
Oh shit.
I beg you not to do this, Miss White.
Don't come any closer.
Please remain calm. We can help you.
Not one step further. Don't try to stop me.
Stop this foolishness. You cannot truly want to die.
No, it's too late.
Shit, Watson. Watson, slap it out of her hand. Good man.
Well done, Watson. She was not faking.
Miss White, you have no right to take your own life.
Dr. Watson? Did you just save me? Or worse?
Yep. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Sherlock Holmes Crimes and Punishments. The next episode is going to be our last one, which is sad, because this is my favorite fucking game in the series. Sometime in the near future, we're going to be moving on to Devil's Daughter, however, and then eventually, Chapter 1. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you very much for tuning in. Bye-bye.